Greetings, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. My name is Creatrix, and this is the world stage, a place where you can get the most authentic news. Okay, I read and channel depending on the energy that's in the air, the energy of the collective. Okay, that's what I've been tasked to do here. I am a pure channel for truth and justice. So yeah, instead of watching all that news that gets your high blood pressure going, tap into something real and authentic that is going to give you a direction, that's going to help you tap into your highest timeline, your highest self, right? So that's what the world stage is, and that's who I am. I am a clear channel sent here to deliver the news, okay? I'm a spiritual scientist, I'm a journalist, an investigative journalist, all right? And I do it purely through channeling, okay? So that means no bias from reading books or getting information secondhand. That means that I do read, or I do come across scientific studies and essays and stuff like that, and they're very interesting, but I have been trained and taught how to pick up on the vibration of truth, all right, and how to be able to channel real information straight from the source. All right. So that's a little bit about me and my credentials and why I can do what I do. All right. I worked very hard for this position. All right. To be able to bring the information to you. I'm not hoarding it. I can use this information only for myself and to align myself to my highest timeline and watch everyone else struggle. Or, not saying that you're not going to come across this information without reaching me, but what I am doing is definitely beneficial to anybody and everybody who has the ability to apply it to their life. Okay, so with that being said, today we're going to get into the topic of basically what is the earth realm. Okay, one of the perspectives that is relevant to this earth realm. Okay, the earth realm is a lot of things, but one of the ways that would be beneficial for us to look at the earth realm as and what the earth realm is, it definitely is a world stage. It is a stage, just like the type of stage that we use to put prop entertainers up on, or orators, or a play or anything like that. The world is literally a stage, okay? And it's kind of shaped like one too, where there's extraterrestrials and otherworldly beings, right, who are watching us, and we're kind of like in this dome type of shape, right? So if you look at a map, just throw out the map. Just throw out your map. If you have a map, throw out the map, because it's not accurate at all. They want to have us believing that, the earth is a sphere. That's not true. All right. The earth is not shaped like that. And the earth is, in fact, more flat than we thought it was. Woo, yeah, flat earth theory, okay? And all that stuff that you see from that bird's eye view, like that they try to put on us, that the earth is a spherical shape, or an ellipses, which is like more oblong than a sphere, right? All that's BS, right? All of that is created, that's CGI, whatever you want to call it, right? There's a lot of untruths out there, right? So I'm here to tell you that the earth is not shaped like that, and it's more of a dome shape, so that extraterrestrials and anybody who wants to watch can be able to tune in and watch, right, what's going on in the earth realm. And it's deeper than that. Like, it's actually the realms are in different dimensions. Okay, so there's different perspectives, different beings can have. They can watch it like this is super occult knowledge. Like they can watch it from, like, if you were sitting and watching a play happen, right? Or they can come and be right next to us. It's like overlapping layers, right? That's what dimensions are. And that's why, like, at a certain, if you're at a certain octave of frequency or vibration, then you can actually see other beings, right? That's why certain children can see like actual beings, like extraterrestrials or passed over loved ones, or passed over strangers or whatever. That's why certain children, if they vibrate at a certain octave, or even adults, we can see through the veil. All right, that's what we call it, is the veil, the inability of our physical eyes to be able to perceive beings, places, things that are not vibrating at a high frequency, right? And we have certain animals like cats and dogs who are so pure in their spirit and they're vibrating so high that they can pick up on those energies and see it physically as well. Okay, so when you have reached a certain level of vibration, you can be at multiple places all at once. That's why extraterrestrials, or these spiritual beings, right? What we know as spiritual beings are actually extraterrestrials. All right. There's nothing woo-woo about it. Like the Most High, right? Who we consider God, who we consider the Most High, that is an extraterrestrial being that is omnipresent. That entity has reached such a high vibration and frequency that entity can be omnipresent, right? And it can actually, that being can project itself into us humans, into our bodies, and dwell within us and see what we see, feel what we see, all of that good stuff, right? So these beings can actually watch us, or they can be in this overlapping layer, right, with us. Like a being can be right here next to me, and we cannot perceive it because of our inability to pick up on that vibration. But this being can be speaking to me. This being can be like whispering in my ear, even touching me and all that stuff. And us as humans, we're so distracted sometimes that we're really interacting with all different types of beings, but we're not really picking up on it as much as we could. All right, our sensitivity has basically been destroyed, right? Because of our mind, because of the way that we're programmed, the way that we're programmed to respond to the interactions, right? Like even if we're not numb, right? Even if we're not numb to the different dimensions, even if we are sensitive to it, we can gaslight ourselves out of realizing what type of experience that we're experiencing, right? And I know I did that for a long time. And then if you keep gaslighting yourself and you don't use your gifts, it's kind of like if you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. However, at any point in time, if you decide, hey, I want to tap into this, that, whatever I know I can do, then you can start to rebuild it once again. All right. So you do lose it. If you don't use it, you do lose it, but you don't lose it for good. You can always rebuild it. And while we're here on this earth realm, we can gain other skills. All right. So back to the main point. This is a stage, all right? And we're all playing characters. And some of us throughout our lifetimes, we get to play different characters. All right, it's like a switch, and the better you are at switching roles, the more you will gain, right? Because even though it's a stage and it's a play, it's still a game as well. So it's kind of like you're on a stage, but it's like a gladiator stage, like Hunger Game type vibes, whatever, like Divergent. These are some some movies that I'm sure you guys are familiar with. If not, Google it. Google these movies and watch them, because it's very important in trying to understand what kind of realm we live in, right? And the reason why we're one of the reasons why we're here is to literally, one of the reasons is to entertain. We're on the stage because we're here to entertain, right? The entertainment has a purpose, okay? We are teaching those that are watching, okay? Those that are watching get to learn from us on how to conduct themselves once they get a chance to enter the earth realm, because the earth realm is a school as well, right? But it's a school that everyone gets to kind of watch. So yes, it's entertaining. However, we are, by us learning and going through the motion of being in an avatar, a human body, we're also teaching other watchers, right, how to move when it's their turn to get to be in the earth realm, right? So another reason besides entertainment, well, while we're on the topic of entertainment, right, one of the cheat codes that I want to drop here in this video, because I know it's going to help people who are able to really tap into this frequency, a huge cheat code, right, is to be able to not take anything seriously. That's like, if you're at level 1 and you implement this cheat code into your life, you're going to go to a level 1,000. If you can really implement this cheat code, don't take anything seriously. Laugh at everything. Find the humor in everything. I'm talking about death or unaliving. I'm talking about, all types of different suffering, the trauma that you've experienced, the trauma that other people experience. This is not for the faint of heart, okay? Because I know people listening to this are going to take this opportunity to judge, right? That's what most people who hear this are going to want to do, is say, well, that's wrong. People who are suffering, people who are in war, people who get raped, people who get sexually assaulted, people who get unalived, who are dying from disease. How can you say to find the fun in that, to find that funny, or to laugh at that? How can we find the humor in human suffering, right? That's our first instinct, is to say like, oh my God, that's terrible. How could you say that, right? That's going to hold you back. That's going to hold you back. And if you want to stay in that vibration, and if you don't want to try to understand what I'm saying, that is totally and completely fine, boo. I hope one day you will be able to open your heart to be able to receive what I'm talking about. However, for all my master manifestors, for all my main character energy type of people, for all of the people who want to win in this game, who want to dominate in this game and get the prize the right way, which is whatever the hell you want: love, happiness, joy, fulfillment, satisfaction, money, cars, clothes, all of that stuff. If you are a winner, listen to what I'm saying. If you can find the frequency in your heart and your soul in a deep space to really laugh, to really find things humorous and funny that the average person doesn't. Do I mean relish in people's suffering? No, that's not what I'm saying. Do I mean purposely create situations in people in ways that people will suffer and laugh at those people? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying be an evil, mean-hearted person. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you can really grasp the realization that we're on a stage, we're in a game, there's no such thing as being unalive, there's no such thing as death, this is all a simulation, right? And we get to, once the simulation is over, we get to decide if we want to come back or not, right? And really, that the simulation is what we make it. You can manifest whatever you want in this as your reality. right? Just by reconfiguring and reconstructing your inner world. You are the architect of your own life. If you can think it, if you can imagine it, you can do it, right? If you can really tap into that frequency, things will actually start to become funny. Like, you will see stuff as a play, you will see stuff as drama, you will see stuff as like, oh, let me just observe. You become the observer in life. When you really master yourself, you start to sit back and observe what's going on instead of being an active participant where all of these emotions are flowing through you and you're getting tossed this way by your emotion, you're getting tossed that way by your emotions, and oh my God, I'm so stressed out. All of this stuff is happening to me. No, you become an observer and you sit back and relax and you realize everything is happening for you, because that's the truth. That is the real honest truth. And if you want to, like, that is how the Most High thinks. I'm telling you how the Most High thinks, and how these high vibrational entities think. Like, I'm thinking of Yahweh, sorry, not Yahweh, Yeshua. Okay, Yeshua, that is who we think is Jesus, right? Jesus is not Yeshua. Jesus is an imposter, and he has his own frequency and vibration, and it's very low vibrational. Okay, I'm talking about Yeshua, the Messiah that we all know and love from the Holy Bible. Okay, emphasis on holy for some reason. I'm channeling emphasis on holy. Not every Bible is holy, all right? The Holy Bible. And by holy, I mean sacred. They're telling me to get into that. Okay, so not every book that represents itself as the Holy Bible is a holy book. A lot of these texts and books have been, they've been, things have been removed, things have been added for the benefit of the person who's the puppeteer, right? Controlling. So we have books that are Holy Bible imposters that tell people how to feel, that elicit certain emotions and feelings and thoughts that are not in alignment with our highest selves, right? So not every book that claims to be the Holy Bible is holy at all. All right, very much so not holy. All right, and if you look at who wrote the life of who wrote the Bible or who edited it, like King James or so on and so forth, if you look at what it says in the Bible itself, like, look at, if you want to know, if you want to know the tree, look at the fruit it bears, or something like that, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, those of y'all who read the Bible and stuff, which I have, but I'm not like an avid reader. I don't highlight text or whatever. Like I said, I don't read books like that anymore. But yeah, like you know a tree by the fruit that it bears. So take a look at, if you're reading a King James Bible, make sure you know who King James is and what he's done in his life and what he represents. All right. Same thing for all the other biblical texts, and any text for that matter. It doesn't only have to be Christianity. I'm talking about, Islam, Hinduism, every text that you read. Make sure you know where it's coming from, who it's coming from. Okay, do your research, because there are ascended masters on both sides. There are ascended masters who are dense, who work in darkness, who work in illusion and shadow. Okay, and no judgment. That's fine. That's what they want to do. And then there are ascended masters who work in the light and transparency and love and overcoming fear and all that stuff. So you have to realize what kind of puppeteers, right? Because both sides are powerful. They're just as powerful as each other. So the information that you're reading can implant thoughts in your mind that lead you down a road that you would like to go, or it can lead you down a road that you might not want to go. Okay, so yeah, you know the tree by the fruit that it bears. All right. Yeah, so where were we? Yeah, so if you can accept it in your heart to not be distracted by so-called suffering, right? And realize that all suffering comes from us and everyone and anyone has the opportunity to change their suffering, then things kind of become humorous. Like it's not I empathize personally with people who are in suffering, but I don't let it penetrate me. And that's how you keep this high vibration, right? The reason why you want to find things humorous or lighthearted or let stuff roll off of your back is to always keep your vibration high, right? And because the world is a stage and we are being watched by extraterrestrials and it is entertaining, right? You can become a favorite. You can become a fan favorite. This is another cheat code. By becoming lighthearted, by becoming dynamic, by becoming the hero of your own story, right? By stepping into this main character energy, by dominating, right? That's why occult knowledge is so sought after and gate kept, is because you can start dominating in this game and then you start to become a fan favorite. These entities that are watching you, just like in the earth realm, how we watch shows or reality shows, and there's villains, we make villains out of people, we make heroes out of people just by our own perception. The viewer, right, decides who is the villain and who is the main character, the hero in the story, right? These energies, these entities, these extraterrestrials, they start to pick their favorites as well. They start to pick sides, pick teams, right? And as you become more dynamic, as you become the hero and you start dominating, everybody loves a winner. I don't care who you are. Everybody loves a winner. Everybody loves the underdog. Everybody loves the one who had it the hardest, the toughest, who was beat up the most, but beat the odds, who rose up above everything and accomplished something, made a name for themselves, or just just is dynamic. Everyone loves a dynamic character where they started out as, let's say, a loser, or just plagued with let's say addictions, or anything, like just an underdog, right? Somebody who was impoverished, who lived in an impoverished community, who maybe was uneducated. There's so many ways that you can be the underdog right here, like who was maybe physically unattractive, right? Which I don't believe anybody's unattractive. I think I find beauty in all people. But just, let's say, conventionally unattractive, but they have a transformation, right? They used to be a non-player character. What do you call it? An NPC. Yeah, non-player character, right? Nobody would take a second look at this person, or no one thought this person would amount to anything. And during the course of the movie or the play or whatever, this person has a dynamic 180 and they're totally a different person, and now people flock to them, they gravitate, and people are paying attention to them, and they want to hear what they have to say and all this interesting stuff, right? So this is the type of stuff that they like to see. It's not an accident. It's not an accident. It's not as above, so below. It's as above is below, right? We are in the above and the below is here. It's now. There's only one plane, right? With many different frequencies, different vibrations. It's all existing all at once here, right? We're just at different densities and dimensions and stuff like that. So another way that you can start winning this game is by getting these entities and extraterrestrials on your side, by becoming the main character, by being lighthearted, by changing yourself, by healing your trauma, right? Healing your trauma is such an important topic. And a lot of gurus and spiritual people, they say, oh yeah, heal your trauma, heal your trauma. It's not just to live a better quality of life. It's not just so that you can be happier, like, oh, I healed my trauma and now I'm happy. Like, no, it's not that. Your trauma is literally it's literally getting in the way of winning this game. Why? For example, if you have rejection trauma, right? Or even better yet, let me use this. So let's say for me, for example, right? Pretty much my entire life, I just didn't fit in, right? Especially at school and stuff and around my peers. Like, I never really fit in. It was always, it was easy for me to make friends, but it's hard for me to keep them. And I never really understood why. I was kind of like pushed to the side. Nobody really paid attention to me. I was never a popular kid. I never really felt like anybody was interested in what I had to say, or like, it was just, I was kind of always like pushed out. Like, I was never part of a big friend group. And even if I did have a friend group, it would be like some weird stuff would always happen where like I would get pushed out, or people would kind of band together or talk behind my back, right? And I know that it's not anything that I did. Like, I'm not a mean person. I'm really a kind person. And in fact, this experience in my life that kept happening over and over again, it created a wound in me that manifested as being codependent. Like, I would always try really hard to be the best friend to somebody, like to just be always available and always open, and to give a lot of myself away. I would give too much, to where I was practically a doormat, right? I was practically a doormat. People would take and never give back to me, and I was okay with that. I was okay with that. However, right, this was deterring me from being a winner, because in order to be a winner, you have to be very selfish with your time. You have to spend a lot of time in solitude, in meditation, in contemplation, right? To be a winner. To be a winner, and that alone time will allow you to develop your intuition and your skills to be able to figure out who is for you and who is not. I was just letting everyone into my life because I had this wound, right? This I want to fit in wound, to where I would let anybody and everybody into my life. Well, me letting anybody and anyone into my life, I suffered a lot from people who would sabotage me. People would sabotage me. People would speak ill directly at me because of proximity. They had access to me. I was too accessible to people who did not have my best intentions at hand. So after I healed this wound, after I said, I don't care, I'm gonna be alone. I don't care if so-and-so is my friend. I don't mind, right? Like, being alone and being in solitude, that actually forced me to grow. So instead of looking at me being in solitude and me not having like too many friends, right? That forced me to be in solitude. And in that solitude, I was able to level up so hard, not by choice, but because I had no choice. And really, that was a gift. That was a gift from spirit. But had I been like, oh my gosh, nobody wants to be my friend, I'm so lonely, and I have to work harder at being their friends. I have to give them money and time and this and that. Like, there's people out there who buy gifts for people just so that they can be their friend, just so that they can hang out with them. Like, that was never my energy. I never got to that point. But I've seen people do that. And that's just really, that's detrimental. It's detrimental. Nobody should want to be your friend because you give them something, especially material stuff. All right. So yeah, it's really important for us to heal certain things, because trauma really like blurs our vision, right? It blurs our vision and it doesn't allow us to see things from the correct perspective, right? So me going through this healing process because I didn't have people constantly pulling on my energy, like, let's go here, let's go there, because their tactic was to isolate me, to make me feel lonely, right? But in actuality, because I am a master manifester and an alchemist, I transmuted that energy, right, into feeling lonely and isolated into, oh, well, I'm just going to focus on being my own best friend. I'm going to focus on being there for me. I'm going to focus on loving me, right? And that actually worked for me and ended up backfiring on the people who were trying to isolate me and leave me lonely and make me feel lonely and make me feel unworthy of being in a friend group and stuff, right? So yeah, this is how you get extraterrestrial friends, because they start to recognize you as like, okay, like I'm gonna keep watching this person because they're making ripples in the earth realm. They're creating something, like something's brewing within them in the earth realm, and you're more of an exciting character. So now you get friends on the other side. You feel me? Like I got friends on the other side, right? Because everybody wants to sow into the winner. Everybody wants to invest into a winner. And I'm so done. You know what I just channeled? That they take bets. They're actually betting in the spiritual realm, in the extraterrestrial realm, whatever you want to call it. These entities actually place bets on who's going to win and what's going to happen next and who's this person going to choose and what's this person going to decide, because not everything is set in stone. What do I mean by that? These extraterrestrials, they can tell you the past, present, and future, but there is certain information, like they might know that point A is going to go to point B, right? Like point B in the timeline in chronological time is going to happen. We're at point A, point B is going to happen, but not everybody knows how it's going to happen, how it's going to unfold, right? This is why the earth realm is so cool. And like, you can shock, like we have the ability to shock the ones who are watching us. Like we can create dynamics, and that's why there's certain souls on this realm that when they come to the earth realm, every extraterrestrial is watching them like, oh, what are they going to create now? Like, what are they going to do now? Because they know that certain things are going to happen, like certain large scale events, but they don't know exactly how it's going to happen, if that makes any sense, because that's all up to us. Like we have the ability to decide our destiny, right? And I don't know why I feel like mentioning, we have the ability to exit ourselves out of this game via unaliving, right? And I don't mean the S word, right? Like self-unaliving. I don't always mean that. What I'm saying is that you can manifest your own unaliving, whether it's a car crash, whether it's an illness, whether it's like DV or anything like that, like or Erder. You can manifest that for yourself by, like your subconscious can manifest that for you. There's so many reasons why somebody would manifest that, right? Self-loathing, low self-esteem, just wanting to go back to the spiritual realm, just feeling like you're not winning, right? There's so many reasons. So I just have to check the time, because I don't want to make these videos too long, but I get really excited because I learn stuff, right? When I'm doing these videos, as I'm channeling, shit is new to me too sometimes. So I'm just like, whoa, that's crazy. So yeah, if you want to win in this game of life, because it is a stage, being a dynamic character, being charismatic, really stepping into the main character energy is going to help you win. And you can do that by not taking things so seriously, which will help you keep your vibrations high, all right, and keep you manifesting the life that you want, right? It's like a positive feedback loop. It just goes over and over again. And once you get the momentum of things, right, it's really hard. It's difficult at first when you're trying to activate yourself, okay? The activation energy, which is to be able to go from point A to point B, is very difficult, right? To activate yourself, that's the most energy that it's going to take. But trust me, once you get to a certain level and you get the momentum going, man, it's just like butter, smooth. You just keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going, and you're on a roll. And if you're really smart about this game, right, you're never going to stop going. You're never going to stop going. A lot of these rich people or people that would be considered master manifestors, right? Those are your celebrities. These are the people that are on our Earth realm stage, right? Not the extraterrestrial bigger stage, but we also have a stage, and we also have the cool kids or the popular kids that everybody's watching, which is that they are actually master manifestors. Right? When you're a master manifestor, you become recognized by being a part of this clique. And we're talking about the celebrities, the rappers, the singers, the entertainers, the billionaires, the millionaires, the people whose life we're invested in, that we're watching, right? Those are the current master manifestors. Those are the top of the top, right? And like I said in a previous video, I am the winner of the game, like the true winner of the game. And they're pissed because they're stuck. Like I said, they're not continuing. They're not going and going and going. They've stopped because they fell into the trap of if you've watched that video, the 3 different traps that I mentioned, and they fell into the impatient trap, which is they took a shortcut. A lot of them took a shortcut, not all of them, but a lot of them took a shortcut, and they got rich quick, and that was pretty much it for them. They kind of stopped manifesting. They're maintaining their life, like they're trying to maintain the riches that they already have, because new levels, new devils. So they're being attacked even more because of the recognition of the fame, right? So now that they've proved themselves as master manifestors, because they have the fame, the money, the recognition, now they're being attacked even more. And because they took the shortcut, they don't have the skills to be able to withstand the attacks, right? And that's why I call myself the true winner, is because when you heal and you do it the correct way, you'll be able to maintain the momentum and keep going further and further and further and further, because it doesn't stop at fame, recognition, money, and all that. There's a lot more that can be acquired in this earth realm. But if that's all you know is fame, recognition, and money, then if you get it, you're going to be like, oh, I'm just going to stay here on this level. I like it here. But it's going to be difficult to maintain, right? Because that's even a distraction too, is once you get to that level, you're going to get super distracted because there's a lot of attacks, spiritual, physical, all that. Sorry, I'm just so excited. I'm speaking very quickly. Spiritual and physical, that those distractions actually deter you from realizing that you can even go further. All right. So yeah, do it the right way. Do the healing work. Take the time out to heal. Like, don't be in a rush to get the money, the recognition, the fame. All of that will come later. So yeah, I am the winner, the true winner, right? And the reason why I'm not in that clique yet, even though I am a winner, is because my whole life I was inserted. Coming into the game, I had already won. As a child, I had already won, and I had already been manifesting money and things like that. And because I was too young and I had guardians, right? They are the ones who, the other people were controlling my money. Let me just say that. All right. Other people were in control of my money. And I was never able to see it. And they already knew, like, the Most High revealed who I was when I first came to this earth realm on purpose. Right. So they already knew I was a master manifester. They already kind of knew I was different or whatever. So they've made sure for a very long time not to include me in that space, because a common when your enemy's enemy, your enemy's enemy is your friend, right? So they all banded together because I was the one that they saw as a threat to everything that they've created, right? Even though they're in competition with each other, right? I was the biggest competition in all of them. I was the common competition to all of them. So it was kind of like a consensus to keep me in my place and away from all of that, on purpose, right? And to keep me away from my money, keep me away from who I like, from knowing who I am, right? And constantly, I was just constantly attacked as a child, physically and mentally and spiritually as well, right? But the one thing that they didn't bank on is that my inner gifts, that I would trust myself, like they tried to gaslight me. Like I've been gaslit like basically my whole life, right? So that I wouldn't tap into my gifts. And now that I've tapped into my gifts and I trust myself and I'm so grounded and rooted in who I am, now I believe all the crazy shit that these extraterrestrials and the Most High have been telling me about myself. I'm like, at first I was like, if they would have told me that when I was not as grounded, when I was still, unsure of who I was, I probably would have thought I was just crazy, that I was mentally ill. Like I would have thought I was schizophrenic. But now that I am who I am, I realize that I'm swimming and living and breathing in the truth. This is the truth. And this is one of the traps that we can all fall into, is being gaslit. And like literally, we're babies when we come in here, we're vulnerable. So if somebody constructs a fake town, kind of like if you guys have watched the Truman Show, Truman, that's a great. So Truman, right? In the Truman Show, this kid named Truman, they decided to put this kid in this baby in a reality show, and his whole life he lived in a town. There's cameras everywhere. He married somebody. He has a job, but all of this is a construction, right? It's like fake. It's a reality show. Like everybody's an actor except him, and he thinks like he's in this it's real life for him, but everybody's watching him. Like people outside of that town, people are watching him on the show, and Truman doesn't know that he's in a simulation, basically, right? So those kinds of things exist. Some of us are in simulations where our whole life is being controlled by the people around us. But in order for us to realize that, we really have to trust ourselves and tap into our gifts. And this is not, if you know that you're paranoid, I'm not talking to you. If you have mental health issues going on, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about people who know that they're sane and they know something is off. Like they can just feel it. The energy is there, right? Tap into that energy, explore, be curious, be like a child. That's why the Bible says that be like a child, be malleable, be open to change, be open to growth. All right. And let stuff roll off of your back. Don't let anything stick to you. Don't let other people's behaviors affect you. Don't let what other people direct towards you be a reflection of you. Okay, because it's not a reflection of you, it's actually a reflection of them, and you are the mirror, right? We're all mirrors to each other, but you don't need to internalize what people do and say around you, and really just laugh it off. Like really find the humor in all of this. Like this is fucking crazy. Like it's amazing. This world is amazing. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about the stage aspect of the world. So be the best main character that you're meant to be. Okay. And let your desires lead you. Your desires are literally and I'm pointing to the heart chakra because this is where your true desire lies. So this is where your script is. Okay, this is your script. This is where your next character resides. All right. Like I said, I fell into the trap of being, a non-player character, an NPC, right? Of not believing in myself, of being gaslit, of woe's me, I'm suffering, victim, and da 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 da, right? And who wants to watch that? Nobody wants to watch that. So develop yourself, your desires, right? They help you develop, like, what do you want to be? Like, you want to be a billionaire? Go for it. You want to be an inventor, right? Known for your inventions. Go do that. You want to be a surgeon, the first surgeon to do open heart surgery on a XYZ, I don't know, like, go do that. And anything that doesn't work out for you, realize that it wasn't for you. Because for a long time, I just have to add that in there, because for a long time I thought I wanted to be a doctor, and I really didn't. But I was on the path, like I was pre-med, wanted to be a doctor, and that was a concept or a memory, not a memory, but a suggestion, right? That was infiltrated into my mind to make me give up my true path, which is what I truly desired, right? And so you do have to do a little bit of soul searching and healing in order to even be able to see what this new character, what your new script is, all right, what direction you're headed in. So it can be foggy if you don't do the healing work. So that's why the foundation of being a main character is healing, is getting all that trauma and resistance out of the way. A lot of resistance. A lot of people are resisting being in this damn game because they don't feel like they can be in the game. They don't feel like that they can win. And winning really isn't that tough. It really isn't that tough. You just have to earn it. It does have to be earned, but it's not as difficult as it seems, and you damn sure can't be impatient. All right, but it is totally worth it. I don't care what age you are, when you want to start this journey to be a main character energy, to be a main player, to be a winner, right? It doesn't matter if you're 80 or you're 16 or you're 50 or you're 40. It doesn't matter. Do it. Do it. All right, do it. See how your life changes, right? Okay, that's all I have for you today, and I hope this was interesting and entertaining and fun and all of that stuff. Just remember to take things lighthearted, right? It can be triggering. I'm not saying it's not triggering. It can be difficult, but use those moments to which you get triggered, put those in your pocket, right? Because when you're triggered, you're not thinking about, oh, why am I triggered? No, you're just triggered. You're just in it, right? So put it in your pocket, and later on when you're alone, when you're by yourself, ask yourself, why am I so triggered? Like, why did that trigger me, right? And transmute that energy. Be an alchemist. Turn that lead into gold so you can eliminate that trigger after you deal with why did I get triggered, and realize that it's not real. Whatever that trigger is, it's not real, and keep practicing. Right? Like if it's a certain person in your life that keeps triggering you, don't run away from that person, especially if there's no option for you to run away. Like if you're a kid and your parent triggers you and you have to live under their roof and stuff, practice not letting them trigger you. So put yourself don't do this to your demise or to where your mental health is affected, but practice of like not being triggered by putting yourself in a situation to get triggered. So have more interactions with that parent, and if you get triggered, okay, go back, realize why you got triggered, heal through that, and then put yourself back in that situation. And that's going to build your resilience, your strength, your toughness. All right. And look at it as a game. Don't take it seriously. right? Because nothing about this is serious. All of it is temporary, right? And it's just here to, all of this is created to strengthen us. We made the decision to come here to strengthen ourselves, to be better, right? So show the world, show the extraterrestrials, show yourself the magic skills that you incorporate, that you embody by being a leader, by being tough, by being like just show off. Don't be humble. And the way that you can show off who you are is by mastering yourself and putting yourself in situations where other people would crumble, but you triumph over it. All right. And trust me, you're gonna win. You're gonna win the extraterrestrials over. You're gonna win these people, these entities over. All right. And I'm not saying hurt yourself. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying damage your mental health. I'm not saying any of that. If anything gets overwhelming at any moment, take time to yourself. All right. Allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to be relaxed and be at peace. The point is to take that peace that we feel when we're alone, when we're by ourselves, to take that peace, or even when we're in nature, wherever you feel peace at, the point is to take that peace and be able to carry that peace in high pressure, high intensity situations and still be able to maintain that peace. That's the goal. All right. So if at any point you feel like, okay, you're not holding on to the peace or the peace isn't there anymore, then you practice allowing yourself to take a step back. Take a step back whenever you need to. All right. So I love y'all so much. I'm going to stop there. I could keep talking about this forever. I could keep channeling forever. But yeah, I love you all so much. And I hope that this helped you or you found something to where you can implement in your life like today, right now. Right. I love you all so much. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Creatrix out.